You are tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more.
Sponsored in part by Replays, Gameware, Movies, and More, and Creative Foundations, employing individuals with disabilities.
Now your hosts, Sam Dunham, Cody Pinnick, Samantha Cross, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, it's time for another episode of the Nerd Overload, the show that covers everything in pop and geek culture from Archie Andrews to Zoidberg. I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Samantha.
We have a great show for you this week. As always, a lot of big news to talk about. But first, we're going to get into what we've been checking out.
As we usually do.
That's right.
I kind of checked out a few things so far. I finally got off my butt and played the Tomb Raider reboot.
Oh, okay.
It's a good game.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not terribly far into it, but so far what I've been playing, I like. It's interesting. Steph was watching me play it, and she's like, "I didn't realize Tomb Raider was going to be so scary."
It is pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, it's not so much a platformer with guns and pixels. It is kind of a survival horror with really horrible people.
Yeah. I kind of wish there was less shooting and more jumping, was my opinion on it. Like, I love those jumping puzzles, like, where you're figuring out how am I gonna get from here to here with the set of moves I have.
Yeah.
And there's not enough of those, and there's too much shooting.
Yeah, like, I recently, had to go get, a radio transponder or something, and I had to, from, a wolf cave. And I had to climb up on all this, ancient Japanese village and up this mountain to get into this cave. I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. It's interesting. And I like the fact that Lara Croft looks like a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely helps.
Yeah, she doesn't look like some sort of cartoon blow-up doll.
Oh, man. Thinking back on, classic Tomb Raider, I'm like, man. Though I'm missing the really weird, the way Lara Croft used to shoot where she flung her elbows.
Yeah, she would really focus on, whatever you were aiming at. And it's weird that all the tomb raiding is side stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
In the main story, there's no actual tomb raiding.
Though I think in the new one that's coming out, it's a little more focused on the archaeological Indiana Jones part of it.
Yeah, which was always the main draw of it. It's kind of weird that they would cut that out, but I guess it is an origin story too. So.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she's not even the lead archaeologist on this expedition. It's the one dude. I can't remember his name, but he's kind of a jerk.
I can't remember anybody's name.
Yeah, I really can't either, honestly. Other than the creepy Father Matthias guy. He's the leader of the band that's on this island you're trapped on. I don't know. It's an interesting. Visually, the game is very pretty. A lot of the set pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
And that very first cave you fall into, where the cannibal scavenger guy was really creepy.
I've always been a big fan of Tomb Raider. I like the Tomb Raider games.
No, I always have too. I mean, they definitely got weirder and weirder as the series went on.
And less good.
Yeah, and less good.
That last one, the last one before they reboot. Well, before one of the reboots. That was the Angel of Darkness. I think that game is terrible.
Oh yeah, I think the last one I played might have been Tomb Raider 3, where you're in the Antarctic and you found Thor's hammer or something. I can't even freaking remember. It's weird. I remember fighting a giant mutated spider monster man thing.
Tomb Raider.
Was that his name, Spider Monster Man thing?
I don't know.
Giant sized spider monster man thing.
Well, that was his first appearance.
Tomb Raider Legend was good. Was pretty good. That was the first reboot.
I thought Tomb Raider Origins was the first reboot.
That came after Legends. It's a remake of the first game, which that's a great game too.
Okay, where you're playing young Laura.
Yeah, and she's wearing the blue tank top from the old games that they never do anymore.
Yeah. Well, till now. I mean, she has one in this one I'm playing.
I thought it was gray in this one. Maybe it's just because it's so dirty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, come on. You fall through a hole. You get a piece of bone shoved through your side, and you're shot. I mean, there's so much crap going on. You come out of that first hole just disgusting. I'm sitting there. I'm like, you're gonna need antibiotics. I'm pretty sure you have dirt in your open wounds. This is horrible.
That's the only thing that really sucks about it, though, is they really beat the crap out of her, like, too much.
I haven't played the game, but I remember seeing that. That was always kind of like, okay. That's definitely a way to take the game, I suppose.
Too much assault.
Yeah.
Assault on Laura. That's the next title. Send me a check. Beyond that, I just kind of been doing my normal watching TV shows thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of season finales.
Yeah, it is season finale season.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I watched the Arrow season finale, and I hated it. It was so dumb.
Yeah, well.
It was really dumb.
Arrow.
I know. Flash was really good. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was sad.
Yeah.
And then I caught the season finale of The Following. Well, actually, it's the series finale of The Following because it didn't get picked up.
Ah, I see.
And I didn't like it.
Yeah. So let's talk about The Flash for a second because that's like the one everyone's talking about right now.
Yeah, we can talk about Flash.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a spoiler alert?
Yeah.
Or do you want to watch it?
Oh, I'll watch it eventually, but I don't care about spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're interested in watching The Flash on like Hulu or something, because it pops up a couple days after, right?
Like the next day.
The next day.
They're
Okay.
really good about it.
Okay. Well, you know what? If you're interested, come back in a couple minutes. We're going to talk about The Flash for just a couple
Flash
minutes.
spoilers.
Yep. Flash forward.
Flash
You're
forward.
going to get flashed with some spoilers for The Flash.
It'll go by so quick you won't see anything.
Okay, so
So basically, Barry is building up to his final confrontation with Harrison Wells. They already captured him in the previous episode.
Mm-hmm. And you finally get to see Tom Cavanaugh act like an actual like
Villain.
super villain, and not like some
Pretending to be a guy.
Yeah, like I only saw about 15 minutes of it, and he was like chewing scenery. Like, he was really enjoying actually being able to act a little bit, and that's great.
Oh yeah, he's really great. I really enjoyed him.
Yeah,
but and they even opened the episode completely different. Like instead of doing their normal thing where my name's Barry Allen, just running through streets and stuff, it's still pretty much the same voiceover, except it's everyone at Star Labs is kind of like milling around. I mean, both halves of Firestorm are there. I mean, Joe's there. Pretty much almost everybody's there.
Was Joe wearing his tactical beanie?
Yes.
Awesome.
Wears his tactical beanie everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
And
that's when you know things are going to get real. when Joe West pulls out the beanie.
And Barry goes on to say, like, I was going to, find the man who killed my mother, and now I have him. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just really great. And Wells continues to go, I hated you. Because he's sitting there asking, like, why did you do it? Why did you kill my mother? He's like, I went back to kill you as a child. I hate you. I hate, not you, future you, so much. I was going to go back in time and kill you.
I hate the concept of you.
Pretty much is what he was saying. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, but then future you followed me and saved you. And it made me so angry, I figured, you know what? What if childhood Barry suffered a tragedy so bad that he wouldn't become the Flash? He would just be traumatized. So I did the next best thing. I killed your mother.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Bum, 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 bum,
yeah, but then he goes on to talk about how, being stuck here and everything, and I've come to see how your father and Joe see you as a son. So I've been helping you to get better out of love. And then Barry's all like, no, I don't want to hear it. Blah.
Yeah, I did catch that part.
It's kind of weird, the turnaround of like, you're my most hated enemy, but now that I've met you as a younger man, mm-hmm. I really, really care about you.
Well, that's like the melding of the two versions of the Reverse Flash from comics. There was Thawne, who was definitely just the evil bad guy, like mm-hmm. who just wanted to kill Barry Allen, and then there was Hunter Zolomon, who was the Wally West version of the Reverse Flash, and his whole deal was, you need to be the best superhero you can be, so I'm going to cause you all of this immense trauma to make you a better person. And that they kind of melded the two characters together.
Yeah.
And it worked really well, I thought.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as a whole, and I know I've said this a bunch, I enjoy Flash way more than I do Arrow.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think I just watch Arrow now just because I've been watching it.
Yeah.
I'm not even really enjoying it all that much.
We actually started watching Arrow again, and I'm like, this is not as good as I remember it. It's right after his mom dies, and he's just doing like a ton of Batman brooding, and I'm oh god.
Well, Arrow is basically Batman anyway.
Oh
yeah.
He is the Bat. Though I did hear season 4 is supposed to have a lighter tone.
I hope so. To match the Flash, because the Flash worked.
I know, right?
Yeah. But anyways, let's flash forward to the spoilery parts, because we don't have a whole lot of time to talk about it.
Yeah. Basically, Wells tells Barry, if you run fast enough within the particle area, you can rip open a hole in time, and I can go home, and you can go save your mom, and undo all this evil that I've done, so I can just go home. Mm-hmm. So after a lot of debating and different people telling him, yes, you should do it, no, you shouldn't do it, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, don't do it, because if you save your mom, you will lose all the motivation to even become a scientist, in my opinion. And well,
that's not entirely true, because the pre-death of Barry's mom, Flash, became a scientist and became the Flash, despite having both his parents around.
True, but he also became Flash a lot later.
So
it's time travel.
He also had a better costume, but whatever. This
is true. Anyway,
he became John Wesley Shipp, the '90s Flash.
And then, so Barry starts running, and he taps into the Speed Force, and Wells is still in his little prison cubicle talking to Barry as he's doing this. He goes, what you're seeing is the Speed Force, and you're seeing all these flashes. He goes, this is everything that has happened and can happen. And you're seeing all these flashes. There's a flash of the Flash Museum.
Oh, okay.
There's a flash of Caitlin Snow as Killer Frost.
Killer Frost. Although you said you didn't catch that one.
I didn't, but I went back and looked up a thing about it.
Yeah.
It really didn't look all that much different.
A blonde hair wig.
With a black outfit.
Yeah.
Basic villain attire, wear black.
Yeah, pretty much.
And when this is all going on, Firestorm and Cisco built a time pod for Wells, and he makes a comment about how Rip Hunter would be proud because it looks exactly like his.
Yeah.
A little tidbit for the new show.
For, was it Legends of Tomorrow? Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Anyway, Flash is running, gets back to the past, and he hears the fight going on downstairs, and he kind of peeks through a door, and you can see his older self, who you don't really get a great shot of, and Reverse Flash fighting, and he's got he's older Flash with the white symbol on his chest.
Yeah, he looks like the Flash.
Yeah, he looks like Flash, and he was going to, after that Flash saves younger Barry, because now there's 3 Barry Allens in this place at once.
Yeah.
Older Flash stops, sees him peering through the door, and just shakes his head no, and then grabs younger Barry and runs. And so the Barry, all cry-faced, shuts the door and just kind of sits there for a minute, and you hear Reverse Flash kill his mom, really stab his mom. And then he leaves. And then Barry comes out, his mom's dying on the floor, his dad's unconscious on the floor. And she basically, he takes off his mask, he goes, it's me, Mom, it's Barry, and she's like talking about how beautiful he is and everything. I got a second chance to say that we love you. Basically he got to say his goodbye that he never got to do as a child.
Right.
And not disrupt his time stream.
Right.
Well, as this is going on, Wells is getting in his little time pod thing and getting ready to go. Flash comes back through this portal thing, smashes the time thing. And he's like, you didn't change anything. You didn't change anything. Why didn't you? And I can't even remember what he says.
Yeah.
Basically, they start fighting because Wells gets furious. And as they're fighting, and Wells is kicking his butt, and he's like, after I kill you, I'm going to kill all of them. And then all of a sudden you hear a gunshot. Eddie shoots himself.
Eddie, for people who don't know, is the future supervillain Reverse Flash's
great-great-grandfather.
Right.
And then as Wells is standing there, and he starts to glow, and he changes back into what he doesn't even look like Wells anymore. He looks like the one time we saw Ebert Thrawn.
Right.
And then he looks at Barry and he's like, "What are you going to do without me?" And then he poofs, And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, so everything's going to reset because, he never went back in time, he never killed Barry's mom, blah, blah, blah. But then that doesn't happen. This big quantum singularity thing opens up in the sky, and they talk about how the only way to stop it is for Flash to reverse around it, like the tornado from the first episode.
Yeah.
And that's where the episode ends, is him running up into this thing.
Yeah. Well, now that none of you have to, watch the episode, because we pretty much did the entire plot. What I really kind of want to talk about is I heard season 2 is going to have time travel elements to it, and multiple universe things, and they tease at the Golden Age Flash.
Yes,
Jay Garrick.
Yes, when the portal first opens up, this helmet with wings comes flying through.
His doofy Mercury helmet flies through the portal or something like that. So,
and Barry looks at it and goes, "What's that?" And Wells is like, "That's my cue to go."
Yeah. Between that and Tom Cavanaugh is coming back as a regular next season, so we're probably going to see the good Harrison Wells,
the actual Harrison
the actual
Wells
guy, not like the bad guy.
Yeah, because if Thrawn doesn't go back in time,
right.
he doesn't kill him. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. And the last thing before we get off this topic, because we've been talking about this way too much, the Cisco. They say he has powers. He is going to be Vibe, the vibrational, breakdancing, superhero. Yep. I hope he breakdances like he did in the comics.
He wouldn't be Vibe if he didn't breakdance.
Yeah.
He's got a good vibe about him.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah.
Really good. Check it out.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Sounds good.
Well, we just saw this little movie. I don't know if you heard about it. Mad Max Fury Road.
No, really? Is it an independent film?
Yeah.
Independently awesome.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the best movie I've seen in a long time, and I'm not exaggerating. It's just so good. It's hard to even articulate how good it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
But to me, it just looks a bunch of crazy happening.
It kind of is. Although it's plot-wise, it's really grounded and pretty simple. But the production going on and all the designs for stuff and the stunts and just everything.
Well, they use as much practical stuff as possible. Try to think.
Well, there's literally guys on the end of sticks that are going back and forth onto cars.
That's
and
not
stuff.
CG.
Yeah, it's not CG.
They are on cars going 40 miles per hour up on super long sticks.
Yeah.
And all the vehicles worked. Everything worked. He's insane.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I hear this fits in with the other Mad Max movies. It's in between two of the movies or something like that.
I haven't seen any of the other Mad Max movies,
actually.
actually.
Really? Man, you're missing out.
But I don't think it actually connects all that much.
Well, it's just kind of a story within that universe.
Well, none of them really connected all that much. They all had, Max as the main protagonist, and that's it.
Well, you had the first movie where he gets the car at the end.
Right.
And then you have Road Warrior.
Right.
Which, Road Warrior is personally, one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. And then you had Thunderdome and all that crap.
Yeah. Tina Turner.
He's got his car at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah, but I hear it's not like it's a reboot. If you your headcanon can fit it into the original Mel Gibson line of films.
Yeah, it's not a reboot or anything.
That's cool. See, I like that.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's just a story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a story that happens to have Mad Max in it. Because it's also more of Charlize Theron's character Furiosa.
I was going to ask you about.
It's almost her story more than it is Max's.
That's cool. See, that's cool. And I hear there's minimal dialogue too.
Oh yeah, there's not a lot of dialogue,
and that's great. You know what? Show don't tell.
Yeah, and they go out of there they don't go.
Also, just the visuals are just amazing.
Yeah, they don't exposition it real bad either at the beginning. They just drop you into it. This is the world now. They respect your intelligence enough to know that you get it. You understand what post-apocalypse world is.
Not why, not how.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I need to get out to the theater and check it out. Yeah, for sure.
It was on my plans of possibly doing it during the weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
And Furiosa is a full actual character.
Not just some female character just thrown in there.
Good.
Fully developed and just as good at everything as Max without it saying, like, it just seems natural. Like, they don't hit you over the head with it. It just makes sense in the world.
Okay.
You know? It's so good. And, like, she's not... Max still seems like an awesome, tough guy because, like, still, it's not... Like, a bunch of men's rights weirdos were boycotting the movie.
Of course they were.
Yeah. And it just... There's nothing in it that's... Like, yeah, it's a feminist movie, but...
Though it wasn't not originally intended that way.
Yeah.
That's what they said. That's what I read.
Actually, they hired the lady that did the vagina monologues as a
consultant.
Oh.
So, yeah,
Nice.
it is.
Yeah.
Either way, good movie. Robot arms.
Yeah, go see it. Like, seriously, it makes Avengers look like garbage.
Well, I'll have to go see it.
No, it does.
Oh, no.
It does. Like, I'm mad that more movies aren't as good as this movie is.
He's mad and he's not going to take it anymore.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it, definitely.
I'm worried that all the summer movies are ruined now because they're not going to be as good.
It just blows everything away.
Like, I'm not exaggerating.
Like, we saw this the day it came out, and we're still... Yeah.
Yeah, still as stoked on it.
Cool. Okay, well, I just have something real quick. I've actually been reading, like, an actual real book.
Are there pictures in it?
No, there are not pictures in it. Thank you very much. It is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. It was picked up by, I think, Spielberg is going to be directing a film adaptation of it. Never mind. It's a really good book. You guys should read it. We need to go ahead and take a break. When we get back, we'll be talking about some news.
Nerd Overload is brought to you in part by Replays, Gameware, Movies, and more. Replays is the place for all your gaming needs, from retro up through current-gen systems and accessories. They even have a free customer rewards program. Mount Vernon Avenue, Marion, across from the Marion Plaza. 751-4072 or online at facebook.com/replaysmarion.
Nerd Overload is sponsored in part by Creative Foundations.
Hi, my name is Robert.
Hi, my name is Amber.
Hi, my name is Jessica.
I'm Jimmy, and I work at Crave Foundations,
The store that employs people with developmental disabilities.
We have 4 locations.
Delaware, Mount Vernon, Marysville, and Urbana.
Our website is creativefoundations.org.
Find us on Facebook.
And we're back. That was The Saga Begins by Weird Al Yankovic.
I love that song.
A classic,
A
yeah.
classic, yes. A classic parody of a classic.
Yeah.
And speaking of Star Wars, some news came out that is pretty awesome, at least to me. I don't know about you guys, but
I'm excited.
Yeah, the coolest cat in the cosmos may be coming back to Star Wars pretty soon. Lando Calrissian. They're hinting at him coming back for at least one of the sequels eventually.
Yeah, they said he's not in 7, but he might pop up in 8.
Right.
Which would fit into the mold of they're kind of trying to recreate the original trilogy a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. But I don't know. I'm excited for it.
I am
it's
too.
great.
Billy D. Williams needs work.
Yeah,
Everybody loves Lando.
Yeah, and I mean they've been really kind of pushing him in the media a little more.
Yep. He appeared in Rebels Season 1 for an episode, voicing a younger Lando Calrissian.
Yep.
And then he's also getting his own Marvel short series.
Yeah, it's like a 6-issue deal. I forget who the writer is.
Oh, I forget.
But it's like takes place during Episode 4, but it's like what he's doing, how he became in charge of Cloud City.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I've always kind of wondered that a little bit.
Lando's backstory.
Yeah. I always kind of figured he wanted like a card game or something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in the Rebels episode, he's basically just a con man.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it all starts.
Well, he and Han, I mean, they were,
old card buddies.
pulling grifts and, doing jobs and stuff, See, that would be kind of a cool, if talking about the anthologies movies, a young Han and Lando movie where it's like Ocean's 11, where they're pulling one big con.
A space heist of some kind.
Yeah, some kind of crazy space heist.
And the winner gets the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, there you go.
Though, didn't he say he wanted it in a Pyzoc game or something like that? I can't remember.
I think so.
Probably, but you know what? Put that in there. Why not? What the heck?
Yeah.
And they're all made up stories anyway.
I know, right? Made up games.
Yeah.
Made up heists.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I'm excited. I mean, I want it to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, more Star Wars is more good.
Yeah.
More good, more Star Wars. All Star Wars.
All Star Wars all the time.
Where's our Max Rebo side movie?
Oh, that would be great.
No, I want Skippy the Jedi Droid. I want that movie.
Oh, that would be a good one. Oh, man, a concert film series based on Figure and Dan and the Modal Nodes.
About their rise to fame, and then how one of them
like
thought
a
he was...
VH1 behind the music of Figure and Dan. Oh, man, I would watch the heck out of that.
It'd be what Gem should have been.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of movies that fit within our wheelhouse,
mm-hmm.
So there's a rumor flying around the internet now that Matthew McConaughey might be playing Norman Osborn in the new Spider-Man films.
You know what they say? He gets older, Spider-Man stays the same age.
All right.
You know, I think it's a good idea. You know what? With the rise of superhero movies and everything, you know, you're going to see more and more like bigger name celebrities trying to hitch their wagon to it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a guaranteed moneymaker these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why not?
He's Matthew McConaughey. Right, what's he doing right now anyway? Lincoln commercials.
Right
Just
now,
rambling weird Lincoln commercials.
right now, he's probably on a beach.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah,
There's
if I were a betting
90%
man.
chance he's not wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly some bongos somewhere. I don't know. But no, I think it's a good idea. And, you know, he can play serious. He can play, you know, parts other than, you know, laid-back surfer dude McConaughey, you know.
I mean, I've seen movies that I really, really enjoy with him in them. I mean,
you know what? He is really good in Amistad.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, it's set back, you know, during the slave trade.
Yeah.
Like, not like a Civil War slave trade. It's like, you know, before, yeah.
Yeah, the ship was called the Amistad.
Yeah, and he was a lawyer, like old-timey English, you know, first-generation American lawyer, and did a really good job in it. And, yeah, it's a kind of a shame that his career kind of took a sidetrack where he was just basically playing himself in, like, weird romantic comedies there for a while.
Dupree.
Yeah, you mean Dupree.
No, that was Owen Wilson.
Oh,
that's right.
I always get those two mixed up all the time.
Well, how can you get those two mixed up, you guys?
You sound like the dude from Family Guy.
What?
Which one?
What?
Which guy from Family Guy?
What?
You sound kind of like...
That was just me holding my nose.
I know, but it sounded kind of like Herbert.
No.
I heard it.
I don't know about that.
I heard it.
Okay,
Just wanted to.
Anyway.
Just wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
Now,
if you want me to sound like Herbert.
Oh, God. What was that one movie he did? It was really weird.
Take your pick.
I know.
Is it the one where he won't move out of his parents' house or the one where he won't get married?
No.
And this is where I say another Owen Wilson movie by accident.
Say another movie.
Yeah. What's another movie he's been in?
Drill Bit Taylor.
Nope.
No, I missed.
Yeah, that was Owen Wilson.
Keep going.
Try it again.
I can't think of any more.
I Spy? Nope, that's Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Maybe I just think they're the same person.
Shanghai Noon? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Jackie Chan.
It's not Jackie Chan.
The guy who's not Jackie Chan in that movie.
Dazed and Confused.
Yes.
is
Okay.
McConaughey
Nailed
movie.
it.
There you go.
Was he... Meet the Fockers. Was he in that movie?
Nope. Owen Wilson. And Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I think I've just all this time thought Matthew McConaughey and Owen Wilson were the same person.
Okay. Wedding Crashers. Who was in it?
Owen Wilson.
Okay, got that one. That was an easy one.
I can't remember. It's a good movie. It's where his dad. He's telling the story to the FBI about how his dad used to kill people because God told him to.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's really good too.
So you're listening to McConaughey
or Owen Wilson cast.
Yeah.
To me, it's the same thing.
I feel like we have a long road of I haven't seen that in the future.
I've learned something about myself today.
Interstellar, who's in it?
McConaughey.
Hey,
there it is. Okay.
Boy, we really went off the rails there.
Oh yeah. Anyway, but no, I think it's a really good idea. I think it's good casting for him to play Norman Osborn because they're going with a teenage, like a young teenage Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man has not stayed the same age.
No, he's actually
gotten younger.
He's regressed a little bit. No, I think they cast a guy named Asia Butterfield, I think.
Yeah, he was in Ender's Game
and Hugo.
Yeah,
which was really good. And I think the age differential will be good. And if they're going with the ultimate version of the Spider-Man instead of regular, instead of him putting on the Green Goblin putting on like a mask and costume and antiquing around, he'll be turning into like almost like a big like monster Hulk version of like a goblin.
I like the ones they use. The Disney Infinity Green Goblin's a big monster man.
Yeah. That's the ultimate
monster man.
Which is the Green Goblin I dislike the most.
Yeah. But can you imagine a super chill, laid back surfer dude goblin surfing around New York on his rocket powered surfboard?
All right. I got these pumpkin bombs.
Frailty. Okay. Yeah. That sounds familiar. Okay, enough about that.
Oh no.
But speaking of movies, there's been a lot of stuff leaking from the Suicide Squad movie, which they've been filming.
Yeah.
None of it good.
No. Guess what? Warner Brothers lied about those stupid Joker tattoos.
Yeah. That they said they had and then said they didn't. Well, no, he has them. You know what? Some of them don't bother me because he's going to be wearing clothes for most of it. So you're not going to see him all that often. You know what?
But nope.
And there have been versions of the Joker with tattoos, like we said. The script word damaged across his forehead is a little on the nose.
Yeah.
And
it bothers me a lot.
That one bothers me more than anything.
Yep. But they showed him talking to Harley Quinn either in a flashback or
it's pre Harley Quinn, so it's Harley Quinzel.
Yeah. But he's getting out of some like crazy purple sports car thing, and they're talking in a parking garage.
Yeah, I borrowed it from Prince.
Yeah. But he's wearing like a silver jacket and like a purple shirt that's unbuttoned practically down to his belly button. He just looks like a douche.
So like sleazebag car salesman Joker?
Yeah, kind of. I'm surprised he wasn't wearing like a big gold chain or something.
Well, CGI.
Hopefully they'll CGI out the tattoos, which I mean is a possibility.
It's a possibility, but it's not going to happen.
With the backlash of how much people hate it.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
I don't think they'll do it, but they could.
Listen, Warner Brothers has gotten so much backlash over Batman versus Superman and the Suicide Squad, and they've yet to change anything. They're not going to change the Joker's tattoos.
Yeah. They don't care.
They don't. They don't care what we think.
All they know is Batman makes money.
Yeah, and they're marketing this at the people who really like Michael Bay Transformers movies and don't care what they're going to see.
I mean, and I'm having a really hard time kind of wrapping my head around it, but these movies aren't for us. You know?
Yeah.
These movies aren't for us.
It hurts.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the ones that are going to give you the money for it. We're going to see it, unfortunately.
Yeah, they know it has that built-in audience.
Yeah, they know they don't have to market it to us. They have to market it to the Call of Duty,
do-chugging.
Yeah.
Do-chugging.
Dorito-fingered masses.
14-year-olds that,
who think edgy and like dark are two different means maturity. Right?
Yeah.
So,
like you said, it's just juvenile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which it feels kind of ridiculous chastising a superhero movie for being juvenile, but it's not juvenile in the right way.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, to an extent, the Avengers and Marvel movies are juvenile, but they're juvenile in the best way because they make the audience feel
Like
good and
kids
feel
again.
feel like a kid for a little bit while they watch it. Where these, it's like they're talking down, the Warner Brothers stuff, they're talking down to us.
It's like we don't care about the source material that much.
Yeah. And again, that's just corporate. That's just the difference in the corporate structure between Warner Brothers and Disney. Marvel.
Yeah. So basically, I'm glad Disney has Star Wars.
Yeah.
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 Wasn't there supposed to be a Batman v Superman trailer in front of Mad Max?
Yes, there was supposed to, but then they leaked it.
Oh.
They leaked it early.
Oh, because there wasn't.
Yeah.
I had it in front of the second time I saw Avengers.
Oh, you did?
I had a lot of trailers in my second time of trailers.
That's weird that they put a DC Warner Brothers like trailer like in front of the direct competition.
Yeah, see, I don't know how it works now with the digital films, but I know when I worked in a movie theater in the past, and I was learning to do projection work, I was taught how to cut trailers onto movie reels, and so we were sent trailers, and we had to cut them at the beginning.
Splice
of
them
the film.
into it. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's still how it works with the digital formats.
Well, it's probably just like a file.
Did you pull a Tyler Durden and splice in horrible images?
The thought did come to mind, but I did not have access to the terrible images to do which.
I was super disappointed there was no Star Wars trailer in front of Avengers 2.
I know they talked about. I guess that's the same thing. It got leaked.
It leaked early, so they decided, well, what the heck? Let's not waste people's time.
That was the first of many disappointments that happened during watching Avengers 2.
Well, anyway, Warner Brothers is doing something right, and that is Supergirl.
Yes.
Have you seen that? I know we talked about, TV trailers and stuff like that last week, but the Supergirl one, they had an extended one that came out like the day after we recorded.
Yeah. I mean, I'm super, super stoked.
You're super stoked?
I am super stoked. But I feel like the people at the DC TV Nerve Center or whatever are watching the movie guys and go, no, that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
And basically it starts off as sort of a weird rom-com kind of comedy kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But then it quickly gets into nope, she's Supergirl, and she's doing super heroic things.
Yeah.
And, not destroying the city.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting.
I did get a little tired of them constantly dancing around saying Superman. You notice they did not say Superman once. They kept saying my cousin or Kal-El. They never said Clark Kent. They never said Superman, and they're not going to be able to.
Probably not. I mean, we get blurry pictures of him.
Yeah. And that could be anyone.
This is true.
Yeah. Although, if they do something like that, I would be totally cool with them bringing back Tom Welling from Smallville.
Oh, yeah.
Say it's not the same Clark Kent from Smallville, but just say he's Superman. This is the actor that's playing him. He just happens to have previously played Superman before.
Well, since it's DC TV, we'll just get Brandon Routh to do it again. Yeah,
well, he's already the Atom. but anyways, yeah, Supergirl. It looks really good. Some of the, and this is just me. Some of the rom-com kind of goofier stuff there at the beginning didn't quite land with me. But then again, it's not being written towards me. It's being written towards, comic fans and female comic fans especially. And, some of that stuff didn't land with me, and that's okay. I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I had a discussion with some friends talking about how they didn't like the fact that James Olsen, knew Superman and knew stuff. I'm like, he's always known Superman.
Yeah, why would he not?
He's Superman's best friend.
They made the comment they didn't like he didn't like how he knew both their secret identities.
No.
And I was like, you don't necessarily know that he's Clark Kent. You just know that he knows Superman and knows that Kara has a connection to him. He doesn't really necessarily know that he knows that Superman is Clark Kent.
And if he does, who cares?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, with all the TV shows coming out, everybody knows everybody's secret identities anyway.
Sure.
What's even the point?
That's like nitpicking something you don't even know the details of because you haven't even seen the show yet.
Exactly. But I mean, she's flying right off the bat. She's super strengthening right off the bat. Heat vision right off the bat.
Yeah, they're not pulling any punches, and that's awesome.
Which is fine because we had to wait 5 seasons on Smallville just to see him fly.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what kind of villains they pull out, because they're not gonna be able to use some of the top tier Superman villains.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of the biggest problem with Supergirl in the comics, is that her most defining feature is that she is related to Superman.
Yeah,
in the comics.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
And I'm sure that the show's going to take it in a completely different direction, and that's awesome. But part of the problem is a lot of Superman and Supergirl share a lot of the same villains.
Yeah.
Like 90% of them.
Yeah.
And if they want to use if they're going to do a Justice League movie, eventually down the line they're going to do an Injustice League or a Legion of Supervillains or something, and that means no Lex Luthor, no Bizarro, no this, that, or the other.
Brainiac.
So no Brainiac, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of second and third tier villains they're going to pull out for the show.
Maybe Lobo will show up. That'd be nice.
That would be kind of cool.
Was Toyman on Arrow?
No.
No? What am I thinking of? I thought they had some kind of toy-related guy.
They had Clock King.
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking Clock King.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, Toyman could show up. They did show real brief flashes of Parasite, that purple guy.
Yeah, on the background on the computer screens of the anti-whatever group that is. Mm-hmm. It's not Argus.
That bald dude grabbing the axe was supposed to be Vartox.
So that's a character I'm not particularly familiar with.
Well, I'm only familiar with him because I'm a fan of the Sean Connery movie Zardoz, and he is a one-for-one copy of the guy from Zardoz.
Yeah.
I don't think they can get away with his costume on broadcast television. We'll leave it at that. But no, it'll be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. Is it supposed to be an hour long? I hope it's an hour long.
Probably. Most shows are an hour long nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, if you get a 30, 20-minute show, it's particularly maybe animated.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I heard rumors that there may be cross-ability with the other, even though it's on the different channel. But I think they still own that channel.
Something about
the
production company
that
is tied in with all of them, or they share a couple producers or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with Constantine from NBC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could all show up in each other's shows, which, I mean, is great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Marvel's doing it, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. And CW and CBS they share some ties. At least way back at one point, they shared some ties.
Yeah.
So, it could happen.
I mean, it looks like a fun, happy, super person-related show.
And we need that.
Exactly.
We need that.
I mean, as much as we dog on the other Superman stuff, this looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It literally, the trailer made me smile.
Yeah.
Which is what it should do.
Yep.
I saw a thing on Tumblr. They had the trailer for The Flash and the trailer for Supergirl side by side, and they're incredibly similar.
I'm not surprised.
Some of the lines are even the same.
Hey, go with what works, I guess.
Flash is happy and fun, and make Supergirl happy and fun.
Yeah.
You can still have cool action and still be fun and interesting.
Isn't it weird that the only TV DC property that doesn't seem to connect to any of the others and seems totally different is Gotham?
I know, right?
Completely out of left field.
And that one's on Fox.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Although I heard it's not coming back next season.
Yeah, it got the axe, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You know what did get picked up for another season, I'm glad, is iZombie.
Oh, good.
Which continues to be really good.
One of these days I'll sit down and watch
It's one of my favorite TV shows now, I would
Really
say.
good, really good. Starring a former Power Ranger. I think I've said that before.
Oh, yeah. She was yellow.
Wild Force Yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got to use some of her,
her karates.
Yeah.
Yeah. What she ate the brain of I don't know, somebody that knew karate.
Oh, there you go.
She was also Tinkerbell on Once Upon a Time.
She was, yeah, but well, I guess everyone does that one show that's not any good. You want to? While we're talking about comics, do you want to switch over and talk about some Archie stuff?
That's fine. Archie's always fun.
Yeah. Recently, Archie Comics people. I guess they're just Archie Comics.
They're just Archie Comics, yeah.
They launched a Kickstarter to get some of their books out faster.
Something like that, yeah.
And people got upset about them having a Kickstarter, I guess?
Yeah, it's a real kind of weird gray area kind of thing. It's like Archie... I think the problem people had with it was that Archie has the money to launch the books successfully on their own, what they were doing were they were trying to gather, essentially do pre-sales.
Yeah.
To get the books out faster because they're relaunching their line. And these were 3 ancillary books that are also part of the relaunch. It's like there was a Jughead book. I know that one.
There was the Archie itself.
No, Archie itself was not a part of this.
Oh, really?
No, they're going full steam with the Archie one. There were 3 books that were going to tie into it. It was like Kevin Keller was getting relaunched.
Okay.
Jughead was getting relaunched, and there was a 3rd one. I want to say it's not Josie and the Pussycats. If it was, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Right?
But it might be better than Veronica. Like,
oh, yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, they started this Kickstarter, and people started questioning. Well, you have this deal with Toys R Us, and you have this deal with was it Walmart's? I think to exclusively sell their new comics in their stores. Yeah, yeah. Archie has Walmart has exclusive rights to like the big box store kind of stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, and something like that. And Archie said, "Oh yeah, no, we have the money for these books. We just want to put them out quicker." And people were like, "Nah, that's not what Kickstarter's about. It's for more independent, content creators that don't have the money to do this. Like the project was going to happen one way or the other, and that's what people had problem with. So they pulled it. They pulled their Kickstarter, and they said that anyone who backed it, they didn't lose any money, and anyone who backed it will be getting a special email, digital copy of the books or something like that. Which, I mean, is a good consolation prize, I guess. But it kind of makes me wish I would have backed it at some point because now, free books, free comics, right?
Free comics.
Yeah. But,
not necessarily free because you did give them money.
Yeah. But I mean, no. If they cancel it or if it's not funded, you don't lose any money.
Oh, okay.
You only give the money if they hit their goal.
And when the time runs out.
Yeah. Yep. But anyways, that kind of gets into a bigger question about, who should use Kickstarter,
Yeah, because a lot of these video games have been doing gangbusters lately. Ukulele and the Castlevania guys.
Bloodstained?
Yeah, Bloodstained, which we've both been talking about both those games a lot lately.
Yeah.
Do they really have a place on Kickstarter?
Well, I think they do because if they didn't raise the money, those games wouldn't be made, Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like they own the respective companies they work for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, if Nintendo or if Ubisoft went to Kickstarter and tried to kickstart a game,
that'd be different.
Creed.
That would be totally different, and I would say no, they don't need to be on there. But I mean, these are independent companies that are, it's either life or death. Either it gets funded or it doesn't get made.
Yeah.
But a lot of, Bloodstained already had a ton of financial backers before, and they don't need this money. It's basically, I think they say on the Kickstarter, it's just a proof of concept that people would pay money for it.
Mm.
So, it's kind of the same thing as the Archie thing. It was going to get, I don't know if it was going to get made either way, but they don't need the money, and they intentionally lowball their numbers.
Okay, yeah, that is kind of a gray area. I'm thinking more of a Mighty Number 9, where if that Kickstarter didn't get backed, it was not going to get made.
Yeah,
or
even Ukulele, their goal was so low.
Mm-hmm.
If people wouldn't have gave over their goal, they couldn't have made the game on that amount of money.
Yeah, and that's part of the game that content creators play with Kickstarter. Because again, the way it works is if it doesn't make the certain amount of money by the end of the 30 days or 60 days or whatever, they don't get any of the money that's pledged. So it's either it gets funded or they get zero. So content creators make low numbers, so it gets funded, so they at least get something.
Yeah, but then that gives people this weird idea of how much it costs to make a game, and then when an indie developer who's actually asking the legitimate amount of money that they need, people start going, well, they made Ukulele they were going to make with $2,300. Why do you need all this much money?
And that's the fault of Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Some people know how to game the system. It's a sad fact, but it's the truth. They know how to game the system, and that's
a lot of people think they can be armchair developers and understand how much things cost to make a game.
Right.
And it's really expensive.
Yeah.
It's really expensive, and it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's not. And, I mean, not just games. I mean, movies. You know, short films that get funded.
Yeah, because there's a lot of ancillary cost to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to pay your developer or your actor. There's catering. There's a bunch of things that aren't necessarily connected to the direct process that are a part of the process.
Correct.
And I don't think some people understand that. I mean, there's a reason a movie costs. A movie has to make like a couple $1 million its opening weekend. Because you got to pay for, all those names at the end of the credits.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you got to pay for rights for this, insurance for that. All this stuff you got to do.
And I mean, I've run into some Kickstarters where, there's a movie that came out a few years ago called Stripped. It was a documentary on newspaper comic strips versus digital webcomics.
It actually just got added to Netflix the other day.
Yeah, and that's really awesome. It's a really good movie.
Go watch that.
It's excellent. But they ended up doing a second Kickstarter because they did not anticipate the amount of money it was going to take just for them to do, printing costs and advertising and stuff like that. All these little things that they didn't even think about because neither of the guys were filmmakers. One guy was a web comic designer, and the other guy was his buddy with a camera, basically. So, I mean, yeah, you run into that kind of stuff. I
guess we get it because it's understandable.
And we're content creators. We make things.
We do make things. Yeah.
I mean, and other people will just go, well, this comes out every year, so why can't you do it within a reasonable frame of time?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, the people who can bring something, like, say, a game out every year, have a team of, 20 or 30 people working on it.
Yeah.
To make that happen. And you got to pay all those people. It's the thing.
Yeah. And, that's just the pitfalls of Kickstarter, You just don't know.
Yeah.
You can do all the research in the world, but you just don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of the super indie projects, it's somebody that's taking this money and then living off ramen and working on it 100 million hours a day. But once you hit a certain level, like you're making a more professional product, then you've got to pay people that work 8 hours a day, and it's a job
for their families and things.
Yeah. There's a difference between those things.
Yep. And have you heard of the concept of content creep, where these Kickstarters, they make a ton of money, so they start adding features to the point where they can't get the project made, whether it's a game or a movie or whatever, because they're hamstrung by all the stretch goals or whatever they call it that they add on. It's like, oh yeah, we're making all this money, we'll do this, we'll do that. They don't.
Yeah, now development's going to take 40 years.
Yeah, exactly. Again, Mighty Number 9. That's what it ran into.
Yeah, I heard it had to cut back on some stuff.
It did. There was a whole online multiplayer.
Oh God, that was a bad idea.
That they were going to try to implement early on in the development, and they ended up having to scrap it.
I mean, I feel like if you're going to do something, if you're going to try to do Kickstarter, I mean, like the content creep thing, I think you should try not. I understand the point behind it, is you've reached your goal and you want people to keep giving you money. But I think it would be just, hit your goal and then just make your product.
Yeah.
And you get your name out there, you got people interested, and then once your product actually gets made, and aside from giving back to the backers, you could possibly make more sales from there to do something else. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Anyways, Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Watch out for what you back, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for us this week. Again, you've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can also find us at Facebook, Nerd Overload website.
Or on Twitter at nerd_overload.
You can email us with any questions or comments at staff@nerdoverload.com.
Yep. And again, we have a dozen donuts for local listeners. Email us anything.
Give me them donuts.
Give me them donuts, yes. Put that in your email. First one that sends it in, you're getting a dozen donuts. We'll make it happen.
If you're outside of our local area, then I will send you a Steam game of my choice.
There you go. All right. So, again, thanks for listening, and we will all be back with you next week.
This show was sponsored in part by Replays, Gameware, Movies, and More, and Creative Foundations.